Hi, we are in the model view and we are looking at our data model. And as you can see, we have Fitbit steps dataset, which has various columns, and also exercise type dataset, and also heart rate sleep score. And we have also created a calendar table. And quickly, you can look at all the columns in each and every table. So let us try to go back to our main table, which is Fitbit's steps dataset. Let us try to go back to the table view, and in the table view, as you can see, there are various columns. So as you can see, the date onwards up until the count of duplicate steps. So we have created two calculated columns in this dataset itself in one of the previous videos. As you can see, whenever I reached my target of 7,000 steps, I have created a target status column, which will give me yes or no. Yes means I have reached, obviously, and no means I was below the target. So in this video, we will try to find out what are the consecutive days I have reached target. So that is the main goal of today's video. So like always, we will try to use the Dax Query view and try to create a measure step by step. We can do much more in the Dax Query view, but for us to understand the measure step by step, we will use for the basic functionality, we will try to use the Dax Query. Let us try to create a first variable. Let us call it as current date, which is equal to max of the date column, which is coming from the calendar table. So let us try to use the return statement here, and let us try to run this particular Dax by using the run. We can run the code and see the results up below. As you can see, understand this is not a table constructor. We will try to give the curly braces, which is a table constructor. Appropriately, in our dataset, the max date is 12/16, so it is perfect. So that is what we wanted. That is what we have here. Next, we want to actually view the dates whenever we reach the target, right? So that is the first step. So we wanted to see whenever we reach target, and also whenever I did not reach the target. So those are the next two code blocks which we are trying to create. So that is what we want to do. And as a first step, let us try to create another variable, and let us try to call it as appropriately dates reached target. So we want to grab the dates where we have reached the target, right? That is the first step. So let us try to use probably calculate table, and let us try to use the table. And the table in this case would be, we will try to use the filter and the values, and appropriately we'll use the date column as a value for the values function. And we want to calculate whenever I reach target, right? So that is greater than 7,000, I can hard code there, or maybe I have already created a measure target equal to 7,000. I will go ahead and use the measure. So whenever my total steps are greater than target, give me those dates, and we'll use the filter condition for the calculate table as all, so that I will get my dates reach target. So let us try to run this. So this is a table, obviously. We will get all those days. As you can see, there are a couple of gaps between the dates. That means I did not reach my target. So that is what exactly it means. Let us try to copy this. So next step is we want to calculate the dates where I did not reach the target. So all you have to do is flip that condition for total steps less than target. So that will give us, let us try to rename it and say that the target dates below target. So as you can see, those are the gap dates. So we have this particular table here. So next step would be, we will try to combine both of them, the dates reach target and also dates below target. Let us try to name it as dates combined, and let us try to use the except function, which returns the rows of the left side table which do not appear in the right side table. So for the first argument, the left table will be, here in this case, dates below target, and the right table will be dates reached target. So let us try to close the parenthesis, and let us try to, in the return statement, let us try to run this dates combined and see what we get. Let me try to remove other things and have only dates combined. So as you can see, there are certain dates here, right? So that is the combined dates what we have. So what are the next steps? So what we have done is we have the current date, which is the max date. We have also calculated whenever we have not reached the target, whenever we reach the target. So for example, in this case, you can see 235 filtered rows from the day and table view, and here also in the calculation we have got the dates correctly. That means these are the dates I did not reach the target. So I think these two steps are very important. We have already achieved those two things. So what we need to do is, next we will try to use filter, and we will try to filter the above table. Okay, so the dates combined, comma, and we will try to use a condition for this filter. We'll say, hey, calendar table date if it is less than or equal to the current date, which we have already defined above. So once we do that, and let us try to in the return statement, let us try to use this filter and run it. As you can see, 1213, 1216, you can see those gaps are there, right? So we have the filter and we have used that filter. So this is the gaps, right? So obviously we can name this as nearest gap, and let us try to kind of format it. And we have that nearest gap, but we want to see the max, right? Let us try to use the iterator function. Let us try to grab that max value. What do we want to grab? We want to grab the date. So this particular step, nearest gap, will give us the maximum date. Okay, let us try to run this. And obviously this is not a table, so let us try to use the table constructor, and this will give us 1214. So that means the 1214 is when I did not reach my target. So let us try to clear the sort here, and let us try to do the descending. As you can see, 1214 I did not reach my target. So that is, I think, let us try to clear all the filters, and let us look at the data already. So in the table view, it is perfect. I think this particular code and the logic is working correctly for us. So let me just go back to our data view and see, and that is perfect. So next is we need to count, right? So we need to see the consecutive days where I have reached the target, right? That is the next thing. So we want to look at either we can use the count. There are several ways, as you can, if you explore on the internet, you will find a lot of solutions. I thought this is the one which is pretty clear. So most likely there are other, as I said, there are other options where you can maybe clean up the code too. So, but I think after research, this is the one of the methods I thought are good. So what we could do is we can subtract nearest gap. As you can see, as I have already seen, nearest gap is a date, and we already know that the current date is a date. So we calculate, we kind of subtract current date, subtract nearest gap from the current date, right? So that way we have a certain date. So I don't think so if we run this result we will get something else, because that is not a date. Maybe we will get something value. Let us try to ignore this part. No worries. So the result part is there. So we need to count, right? We need to see the count. So let us try to wrap this around the integer, and now we run, it is saying it is 2, right? So let us see. That means whenever I did not reach target, that will be 0. Whenever I reach target, it is counting. So as you can see, 15th and 16th of 2023 December, I have reached my target. So next is, now that the code is ready, all we have to do is create a measure, right? Right click. I've already written the measure. So let us try to go back, measures table, right click, create a measure, and let us see, and this is the measure. So we have named it as number of consecutive days. It's the same logic, but I've added something additionally in this return statement, because we don't want that to appear in the total below. So this is the report page. We have a slicer up top, as you can see, the month year slicer. And also we have a table visual which has date, total steps, and also the number of consecutive days reached target. That is the measure we just created. And also we have added the target status column from our Fitbit table. So I can pause the video and look at it. And also on the right, I have just created a line chart because I just wanted to have a visual. And these are the date, and for y-axis I've added number of consecutive days reach target, and I've enabled the data labels. And I think we have calculated the consecutive days. So since we have those slicers, whenever a user makes selections, for example, in this case in December 2020, as you can see, we have the measure here, and also the target status calculated column is also appropriately showing. Whenever it is 0, it is no. Whenever I have consecutive days, it is increasing. As you can see, 5 days in August I have reached the target. So I think this is a cool way of looking at our data and trying to get insights from our data. So we have calculated the consecutive days whenever I reach target, and it's incrementing. Whenever I reach target, it is going back to 0 whenever I am not reaching the target. So I think this is a cool way of, like I said, getting more insight from our data set. And I have created this new page as consecutive days reach target. And thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.